Hey, we are Chris and Teresa and are obsessed with all things fiber and guiding you on your fiber arts journey. We own a successful fiber processing mill, an online needle felting business, experienced at raising all fiber animals, and are renovating a 100-year-old school into a fiber arts retreat center.
Processing, needle felting, yarn, roving, fiber animals, and our renovating progress are all topics discussed here. Think of this as your one-stop shop for advice, information, tips, and getting your questions answered on all things fiber, from raising the animals to the finished product and everything in between. So pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be inspired while you learn. This is EweTube.
Welcome to EweTube 143. Coming from the lambing barn. We have just one more left to lamb, waiting on. We have released the bottle lambs from their pen so they can
Hey, don't suck the camera.
join us.
So we're going to try to stay focused and not...
We were hoping they would come over here, but no, they just go over there.
Yeah. Yeah. But she'll share some footage. Alrighty, we are getting, right now, we are, if you're watching this Saturday morning, we are at Shepherd's Harvest. And if you are in the area of Lake Elmo, Minnesota, it's just north of, well, it's kind of connected to Minneapolis on the north side. Please come and see us. It's a fiber festival that has been, of course, canceled for the last, 2-3 years now because of COVID.
And what fairgrounds? Washington
County.
Right?
Yeah.
Washington.
Fairgrounds, yep. Lake Elmo, Minnesota. And there's, hi, Kitty. There is, oh my goodness, there's 4 buildings full of booths, and there's animals, and there's so much happening here. So much fun.
4 big buildings.
Yep. Hey.
So we're watching a ewe
Be mean. She's naughty.
She's bunting her baby. That's why she's still in this pen. She just had it yesterday, and she's not the best, Mom.
What do we do?
Yeah.
I'm sure you can hear them rustling around over there, running around. It's so adorable. Okay, so if you're in the area, please come check us out at Shepherd's Harvest. And we are also going to be doing so much networking this weekend, drumming up new teachers, new learning, new educational offerings for the Nome University.
And hopefully finding people that would like to have retreats and things at our school.
So we'll give you a full report on that next week. Yes. And we had something last weekend? Fiber Fun Day. It was a week and a half ago, 2 weekends ago, we had Fiber Fun Day at the school. And it was amazing. It was just a free event to anyone who wanted to come, work on events, sit in the spinning circle. There was...
Did you say work on events?
Did I say work on events?
I don't know. Hey.
Work on projects.
I don't know if you did or if I just heard that.
Okay, well, anyway, work on projects.
If you want to work on events too, that's good.
Yeah, we could use the help. It was just so much fun.
It was.
They had a delicious lunch opportunity.
And
So good.
yeah.
This is an annual event that will take place about the same time next year. So watch for that. And next year, we'll be having the animals on site as well. Some animals. Some animals for sure. Okay, and also we have been, as we have reported, gifted a big beautiful loom. So watch for a loom raising soon, and we'll give more info on that in the following week. Mary Peterson works in she's Teresa's executive assistant.
She handles all of the assembly of the kits, and if you've ever ordered anything from us, she does all of the shipping, packaging, and all of that down there.
Yeah.
So-
She's even started karting a little bit, and yeah, she's amazing. We'd be lost without her. She just got an award from the city of Nome. She was an alderman for the city of Nome for 32 years. That's amazing.
It is. It's a long time.
So we got some pictures of her accepting her award, which was pretty cool. Birding retreat. You discussed this birding retreat. It was, I was kind of a negative Nelly coming up to it, but it turned out to be such a wonderful adventure for everybody.
She was just negative in the way that the weather was crappy, and so she didn't think anybody would want to come. She wasn't negative about doing it.
Yeah, no, not at all. I just felt so bad. It was the weather. It just rained constantly, and I knew we wanted to be outside, and it was just so disappointing.
And it wasn't just rain; it was cold and windy, very windy.
Yeah.
And this is our first birding retreat, and we plan to have them every year. We already scheduled next year's, and we were concerned that it would be too much. The weather would be too much, but Audubon, Dakota assured us that birders are ready for these types of things.
And they were.
And they were. They came with their rain suits.
It was awesome.
They were ready, and we had an amazing time. I mean, because I was hesitant and going out that morning. We started at 6:30. We went out around the school. It was pouring rain and it's so much mud. And we went just walking, and we went down the old railroad bed a ways, and we found so many birds, and everybody was so excited and saying how this was extra fun because it was more of an adventure just because the weather was so bad. And yeah, everybody was in good spirits, and we had a fun time when we got back to the school from that morning trek, and we had a wonderful breakfast, and then we worked on a needle-felted canvas-back duck, which was really fun. And I wasn't sure if they would all be, super interested in needle felting, but they all loved it. We went through that. We always go through a period of, I am no good at this. And then it always ends with, oh, wow, it looks like a duck. And they're so amazed by the time they leave. But there's always that period where, this looks like, a monkey or something. And they get discouraged. But it turned out just perfect. And they were all happy. And we actually had to get on the bus before we were done with our ducks. And we headed out to go to some wetland areas to see some ducks. There's so many ducks and geese in the area right now for migration. And so we headed out to do that, and the bus, so we had a school bus come get us. And there's this beeping noise. And he was trying to figure out what this beeping noise was. So we got to this first wetland. We got out. The wind had picked up so bad that you're standing out in this open area with all this water, and it's just hitting us from all directions. And at that time, the ducks were going for cover. They're not just paddling around. If they were paddling around, they were paddling way out there. But we all had binoculars, so we could see them. Then we get back on the bus, and he said, I'm sorry, but the brakes went out on the bus, so I got to take you back to the school. And they were like, oh, well, then we get to go work on our ducks again. I was like, oh, wow. And so we went back and we worked on our ducks, and then he had another bus sent out. So then we got on the bus again, and Mary and I, who we spoke of earlier, we had gone out scouting the day before for the best routes, and it has been raining so much that there is so much water everywhere.
And washed out roads.
And washed out roads. So we were concerned. The routes that we had looked at the day before, some of the roads were already underwater from the day before. So we had to go places and then turn around and come back. And we had this one spot where we had gone and scouted, and we had seen this eagle, and we saw this eagle's nest, and we have to go there. So that's where we went after we got the new bus. And so we drove down there, and we told him, the bus driver, who was very nice and willing to try anything for us, that we didn't really know how he was going to turn around once we got down to this eagle's nest, because on the end there's a big, huge pond. And so he went up there. We saw the eagle. We saw the nest. Many other birds. Everybody was happy. And then he was very good at backing this. It was a huge bus. And he backed it for quite a ways, and then he thought he saw a spot that was good for turning around. And we got pulled in, and while we were trying to back out of it, we got a little stuck. So we were, but everybody was in super good spirits. Again, this added to the adventure, which made this so memorable for them. And we were about to, I had texted Chris and told her.
She kept asking me,
we might be
I think
stuck.
we're stuck. Oh, nope, he's going to try again. You need to pray. Oh, we're stuck. Yeah, we're stuck. No, he's going to try again.
Yes. So, I just wanted her to be alerted and get something ready. Somebody
so we had
lined up.
Mike Peterson ready to go help. We had my husband ready to go help. And then Jesus just pushed the bus out.
Because we were so close. We just had to get over this little ridge or whatever.
So awesome.
And then when we got unstuck and we just pulled out of there and everybody was cheering and so happy.
It was awesome.
And so then we got so brave we went to another pond. But we didn't get stuck there. But it was just getting colder and windier every pond we got out at. So then we went back to the school and they finished their ducks. And everybody said it would be an adventure to remember. We scheduled the next birding retreat for 2023 on May 6th of 2023. And they're all excited to come back. We're going to have possibly better weather then.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it can't be any worse.
Right.
It truly can't.
It didn't snow.
No,
It felt like it could, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll wear better clothing. I don't have a rain suit. I had my chore coat.
Yeah.
And it soaked through that my shirt was wet even.
Like a sponge.
But that was the morning, so then when we came back, I was able to throw my stuff in the dryer. So over this weekend when we had the birding retreat, we had some of the guests that came on Friday night, and we all had supper together, and we were sharing all this birding information.
It was amazing.
It was so much fun. And Chris, who hasn't been into birds very much, has been very interested since then. So it was so much fun. And they told us about this app, and it's Merlin.
From Cornell University.
Yes.
Careful, cat.
And you can...
It's a free app, and you all need to download it. It's amazing.
So right now we're just listening. The phone is listening for which birds are in the area. And then you can take pictures of the birds and it'll identify them. So right now we're hearing a blue jay and a house sparrow.
And a mourning dove.
Oh, I got a mourning dove.
And then it lights up as the morning, when the mourning dove was talking away, it lit up.
So then that's the mourning dove sound.
Merlin from Cornell University. And it tells us what birds we're expecting to see in the Nome area. There was a massive list of what we could possibly see.
Yeah, you just put in your area and it tells you, look for these kinds of birds.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I think, didn't you say you had like 8 different, you just stepped outside your door and it identified?
Yesterday in the sheep pen, and I was hearing all sorts of birds. And I don't know how many I had.
You had
at least
snipe.
10.
I'd never even heard of a snipe. Check that app out, the Cornell Lab Merlin. Okay, we are over here. Hi. We are over here in the new barn. Describe.
And this is where if you haven't been watching, this is where all of the lambs come after they get out of their getting acquainted pen, which we call jugs. They come over here with their moms. Then they go into a pen, a smaller pen, until we're sure they're acquainted and the mom's being good. And then they get put into the big pen when everything looks good. And there's an entire pasture here, but we haven't let them out because it's been so cold. And today is like the first nice day.
It's not windy.
Without
the sun
horrible
is
wind.
Kind of out.
Yeah.
Off and on, partly cloudy. Yeah.
So they're in this little piece here so that we can make sure, because sometimes when they're really tiny, they squirt through the fences and they can't figure out how to get back in, and that's when coyotes can get them. Yeah. So that's why we want them in this tiny little pen until we're ready. Plus, we're giving the grass a little chance to do its thing before we let them eat it. And then if you see over to the right, that is Bear Creek, which is now Bear Lake, which is taking up our entire pasture because we've had over 4 inches of rain in the last few days. Well, it would be a week from when this airs.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's really dry when we're airing this.
Yes.
Because it's been so wet.
Absolutely. Yes, honey. Yeah. Yeah, and we want to talk about something that we have scheduled and we are very excited about because we have wanted to do this since forever. Is the Nome Schoolhouse, Nome University. What are we even calling it?
The Nome Coming.
The Nome Coming. That's right. The Nome Coming. Get it?
It's Nome Coming 2022.
Yep. September 24th and 25th. And we'll be the
second to the last weekend in September every year. We're doing it adjacent to another festival that goes on in Fort Ransom, which is a huge event with a bunch of craft people that gather there outside. It's a beautiful town, Fort Ransom is. And we just wanted to have something to make that day even better. So we're adding our own fiber festival where ours will all be about fiber arts. And so it'll be different from what Fort Ransom offers. But we'll encourage you to go to both places. And there's also other places in the area that do something that weekend too, because it's a time to just make the rounds. And see everything.
And then it'll be Friday, Saturday. And maybe Friday night and Saturday night. We will have something going on at the school as well. Saturday night.
We just started
planning. So we'll have some music and of course food and
rooms for you to stay in.
Rooms to I if I were you, I might book early if I were you because that's gonna book out.
Yeah, I would think so.
We here comes Fred
and Barney.
Fred and Barney. We might be in the foreground here.
If the sheep right here don't tip the camera over,
we're ready to catch it if possible. We're not making any sudden moves. Alrighty. And okay, we had a couple questions. One of the questions being Fred and Barney are in the background here. What role do llamas play in the farming of livestock?
So for us, they are guarding the sheep. We got them mainly, we have livestock guardian dogs here. We have two. We have a Great Pyrenees crossed with an Anatolian Shepherd, and we have a Boz Pango. And they have been guarding our sheep for several years and doing a good job. But we were renting a pasture by the school, behind the school, and now they're itching on it. And so we needed something to guard those sheep, and we didn't want to bring dogs there because we can't guarantee they're going to stay in their little pen with the sheep. So we got some llamas so that they could guard the sheep, and so they help they help watch and guard for coyotes and other things that might attack and eat the sheep.
So in your situation, they're indispensable. I mean, they're a huge asset. Yeah.
And otherwise, we use their
their fiber is just wonderfully fun to hand spin and to use in that respect. And do you think you will have alpacas at the school as well? Yes. We already have 2, and we're hoping to add to them. Wow, the sun is out. This is gorgeous.
Feels nice. It does feel very nice.
All right. And last week we had a question of where did the barn come from? We had no one that even attempted to answer it. And it's kind of a hard question, so we're just going to scrap that one.
But we get asked it a lot, so we thought we'd want to cover it on YouTube. And because people often, they get in the school, they look out the back window and there's a barn right there. And they say, well, why did the school have a barn?
or often folks also think that it was the barn that the school kids put their horses in, because the school did have a barn for that very reason, but that burned down years and years and years ago.
Yeah, so somebody bought the school on the auction after it closed, and they raised Percheron horses at the school, and they moved the barn in. It's an older, beautiful barn, and they moved it in.
From Fingal.
Yes.
So, which is approximately 12 miles?
6.
6 miles. Really? That's all. Okay. 6 miles. Cross country they moved it. So this week's question is, because as staff we were discussing this, because we are planning and very soon we'll be fundraising for the fiber education herd. And one of the questions was, what is the gestation period of a camel? That's the question. And what is it for a sheep, Teresa?
The gestation period for a sheep is 5 months. And now, since it's so nice, we'll see if we can talk Chris into canoeing on Bear Lake.
Yeah, so
Stay tuned.
stay tuned for that.
So here we are. We're on Bear Creek. There's Chris. We're in the canoe.
This is amazing. My first time in a canoe.
Yeah, Chris she's never been in a canoe before. So now I think we've got her hooked.
It's amazing. Here, there's the...
So the creek here is usually, you can't even see it. It's down in, so now it's a lake. Like, we had over 4 inches of rain, so it's taken up, this is all of our pasture, and it's taken it all up. There's the big barn where the sheep are. You can kind of see the sheep. Over there is our house, and then the lambing barn is way over there. There's a stock pond, so that was dug so that the animals here would always have water.
Oh, that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So does that always have water in it?
Yes. And now, I don't know if you can hear the water rushing through the culvert. That's that road over there. It's actually going over the road. Right over there beyond the fence. It just gushes over the road. But this is so much fun.
This is so cool.
Galata tucked her into it. Now she's ready to go canoeing on the Cheyenne River.
That's all, folks. Please like this video, comment below, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.